The talented Lin-Manuel Miranda has been busy in the last few years. He has involved himself in many areas of the performing arts and throughout the entertainment industry as a whole. Starting with his Broadway performances and leading him to directing and producing positions, composing and writing opportunities, and singing and acting for movies, he's done a bit of everything. Since his rise to stardom after his Broadway show Hamilton hit the stage, we have gradually gotten to know more about the star. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about Lin-Manuel Miranda. His name was inspired by a poem. With a fairly unique name like Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's often asked where it comes from. The name Lin-Manuel is derived from the poem Nana Roja para mi hijo Lin-Manuel, written by Puerto Rican poet José Manuel Torres Santiago, about the Vietnam War. He was a teacher. Miranda wasn't always singing on Broadway or writing music for movies and composing musicals. In fact, he was a teacher at first. He worked at his alma mater, Hunter College High School in the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Of course, that teaching position didn't last very long as he went on to become a Broadway star and have a hand in one of the most popular and famous musicals out there today. Miranda told Education and Career News that being a teacher was one of the most rewarding jobs he ever had. It wasn't about getting up in front of the class and having all eyes on you. That's not how great teaching happens. The finest moments of teaching are when you're not saying much at all, when you're lifting the discussion up and keeping the ball in the air for the kids to draw from each other. Like great actors, great teachers know how to listen. It's not about being in the center, it's about being part of the moment and being present. He wrote the first draft of In the Heights while in college. In the Heights is his first big hit musical. He began writing In the Heights as a sophomore at Wesleyan University. The version he wrote in college is drastically different from what ended up on Broadway. He told The Guardian that the college version was really just a love story set in New York City's Washington Heights neighborhood. But when he came back home after college and saw the changes happening in the neighborhood, that began to change, and the show became, in a sense, a time capsule of a Washington Heights that's not going to exist in 10, 15 years. All I know is I wanted to write a little show that captures what it was like as I remember it. And so that will exist. My little memory of the neighborhood through the show. In the Heights, which Miranda also starred in for a time, ran on Broadway from 2008 to 2011. It was while he was on vacation between the show's off-Broadway and Broadway runs that he read the biography by Ron Chernow that would lead him to Hamilton. He co-founded a hip-hop comedy troupe. During his time as a student at Wesleyan University in Connecticut, Miranda and a group of friends started the improvisational hip-hop comedy group Freestyle's Love Supreme with Chris Sullivan, Bill Sherman, and Chris Jackson. The group was conceived as early as 2003 during breaks from rehearsing Miranda's musical In the Heights. With the help of a keyboardist backing them up, members beatboxed and freestyle rapped, occasionally using topics audience members wrote on little pieces of paper as inspiration. To celebrate its 15th anniversary, Freestyle Love Supreme performed a run on Broadway during the 2019-20 season, and in 2020, a documentary, We Are Freestyle Supreme, outlining the group's history was released. He loves The Little Mermaid. Miranda is a huge Disney fan, and he especially loves The Little Mermaid. He even named his son after the character Sebastian. While talking to Good Morning America in 2016, the musical creative explained that The Little Mermaid is why he started making music. In the same year, he co-wrote the score for Moana and got to work for co-directors Ron Clements and John Musker, the duo responsible for multiple Disney films including The Little Mermaid. Miranda told Good Morning America that it was important for him and his co-writers Apete Tavita Foe and Mark Mancina to create an authentic Polynesian soundtrack that would represent that region of the world. Miranda said, "The thing that the directors really imparted to me was this is a part of the world that almost never gets represented on screen, the Pacific Islands, so we want to honor them. We want to make a movie they can be proud of and that they can point to with pride." But his love for Disney really came full circle in 2019 when he started writing lyrics for the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid. He's working alongside the movie's original composer, Alan Menken. He almost got a pegit. What is a pegit, you might ask? It's when you get a Pulitzer, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award. Miranda has won a Pulitzer, Tony Awards, Emmy Awards, and Grammys thanks to In the Heights, Hamilton, and Moana. Moana was nominated for 2 Oscars but didn't win. Composers Richard Rodgers and Marvin Hamlish are currently the only 2 people who have ever won a pegit. Miranda still needs to win an Oscar to enter this rare designation. Directing debut. The Renaissance man that he is, Miranda has written and produced musicals, composed songs for several Disney movies, and acted both on stage and on the big screen. But it might surprise some that Miranda had not yet directed a movie until 2021. His directorial debut is the film adaptation of Tick, Tick Boom, which is an adaptation of Jonathan Larson's off-Broadway musical, and which was released on Netflix on November 12, 2021. In an interview with Netflix Film Club, Miranda said he's wanted to be a director since he was 3 years old. But in regards to his career path, Miranda said, "I sort of majored in theater instead of film out of practicality." He married his high school sweetheart. True love hit early for Miranda as he met his one and only, Vanessa Nadel, when he was only 14. Both Miranda and Nadel attended Hunter College High School in the Upper East Side of Manhattan. According to him, he had a crush on her for years but couldn't muster up the courage to talk to her. He told New York Times, "She was gorgeous, and I'm famously bad at talking to women I find attractive. I have a total lack of game." After high school, Miranda went to Wesleyan and Nadel to MIT. The two didn't speak until 2005, when Miranda reconnected with Nadel over Facebook. He reached out and invited her to one of his shows, and 5 years later, in 2010, the two were married. They now have 2 children together. The tattoo on his ring finger is dedicated to his wife. He isn't just a people's man, his heart is not far from home. In 2017, he got a new tattoo dedicated to his beloved wife. But that's not all. To commemorate his love for her, and not just some random obsession type of tattoo, he had it drawn on his ring finger. The tattoo is an initial of his wife's name, V for Vanessa. He prefers working on Broadway. It shouldn't be hard to imagine Lin-Manuel Miranda preferring Broadway to Hollywood. After all, his Broadway upbringing through Hamilton is what led to his major Hollywood breakout. If not for the worldwide mega success of Hamilton, Miranda would not have his name attached to projects like his Dark Materials or Mary Poppins Returns. It's likely that he's always going to have a soft spot for his original roots.